Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Shadowverse Evolved Havencraft deck profile. Wanted to bring another Shadowverse deck to the channel. Big thanks to my buddy Jim for letting me borrow his Havencraft deck for the video. We've already done the Dragoncraft and also the Runecraft decks. This will probably be one of the last ones before the next set, Reign of Bahamut, where we'll be updating a bunch of decks. Also, diverging some of the decks you can play for the different classes as well. But we'll still bring you the Havencraft deck for what we have so far from the Advent of Genesis booster set. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for our main follower, we're running the 3 copies of Jeanne d'Arc for a last words, fanfare, and as well. For fanfare, you deal 2 damage to each enemy follower on the field, and also when you evolve it, you just need a 2 of cost. For the evolved cards, we'll go over them after the main deck as well. But good for the overall power it has, just being able to deal 2 damage to each follower on the field for clearing out some of the lower power followers. Also 2 copies of Moon Almirage for this card having Storm, being able to attack the turn you play it, and Follower Strike, giving it +2 shield. And at the start of your end phase, you give it +2 shield as well. So you have the +2 attack initially, and then the +2 shield that it can get as well for the Follower Strike. So when this follower attacks into your opponent, giving you the additional +2 power off of it. And also the 3 copies of Skull Thane. You look at the top 4 cards of your deck with its fanfare, reveal an amulet card from among them, put it into your field, and put the remaining cards into your cemetery. For those of you that don't know, Havencraft's main playstyle is just to set up the many different amulets that we run in the deck on the field, and then utilizing those different amulets. And whenever an amulet leaves your field, deal 2 damage to each enemy follower and enemy leader on the field as well. So more damage with this card as well. It's more of a higher cost card to get on the field for a follower, but definitely worth it if you have some of the other amulets already set up on the field as well. For some of the other followers, we are running the 3 copies of Priest of the Cudgel. For an evolution cost of just 1, you can then evolve it to the evolved form of Priest of the Cudgel. Like I said, we'll go over the evolved deck with all the many different evolved cards at the end of the main deck as well, but also the 2 copies of the Curate Follower. On fanfare, give your leader +5 and draw a card. So for a cost of 6, being able to at least recover 5 life and draw a card on top of it, definitely useful. One of the more difficult cards to get over as well, having a 5 attack, 5 shield power. And also the 3 copies of the Prism Priestess with just a cost of 2 to evolve this follower as well into Prism Priestess Evolved. And for the last of the followers, the 1 copy of Ardent Nun for a cost of 1 for evolving this follower. It also has Ward, which with Ward you can rest this card at the end of your turn, or when you play it, so then your opponent has to attack into this follower before they can attack into any of your other cards, including your leader. Now for the amulet cards, we're running 3 copies of Hair of Illusions. With this card being able to rest this amulet, you put this card into your cemetery, select an enemy follower on the field, and engage it. So engage means to basically rest the follower as well, giving you an option to then attack into that follower if your opponent kept it stood for that. And also with a cost of 10 and rest this card, put it in the cemetery to banish each follower on the field. So another way just to clear the entire field as well, with this card more being a cost of 10 for this play, but well worth it when you have the initial setup for your Hair of Illusions. And then for the additional amulets, 3 copies of Pinion Prayer for just a cost of 1 and resting this card, putting it into your cemetery to summon a Holy Falcon token. Now for the Holy Falcon tokens, they're definitely useful just for the fact that they have Storm as well, and they can attack on the turn that they are put onto your field. So very useful as just another cost of 1 amulet to then pay another additional cost and rest the amulet to use it, putting it into the cemetery. And also the 3 copies of Sacred Plea. With another rest, you put into your cemetery to draw a card, or with a cost of 2, and being able to rest it to draw 2 cards instead if you have the cost to use. But what's great about a lot of these different amulets for Havencraft is that their costs are all initially low, but they do take up a spot on the field. So while you can only have 5 followers or amulets on the field at a time, you have to kind of mix well with knowing which ones you want on the field compared to some of the other cards that'll be on there also. For some of the lower numbers for the amulets, also 2 copies of Death Sentence. This card is put onto the field, engaged, so then it'll go in like this, and then you can rest this card and put it into your cemetery, just select the main follower on the field, and destroy it. So you can't just use it on the turn you play it, you have to wait an additional turn to then reactivate it, and then go for another engage to destroy that initial follower that your opponent has. And then also 2 copies of Holy Sentinel. Once on each of your turns, when another amulet leaves your field, summon a Holy Tiger token and give it ward. The Holy Tiger tokens definitely do have sort of a stronger power-up defense and power on the field. They also have Rush, which means they can attack enemy followers, but unlike Storm, they cannot attack the leader on the turn that you play them. Also, the 3 copies of Dual Flames. For this card, you summon a Holy Tiger token with its fanfare, and then for a cost of 2 and resting it, to summon another Holy Tiger token. Getting 2 of this card with Rush can help to clear out some of your opponent's own followers, while giving you just another easy board, making up for the amulet you got rid of on the field. And then also the 3 copies of, actually before we get to the spells, one more amulet that we run is just the Beastly Vow. This card's put on the field engage once again, and for a cost of 1 and resting it, you summon a Holy Tiger token. Just another option for summoning out one of your better tokens onto the field with just a one-off cost, since we have some of the other amulets that can rely on a little more consistently for the summon. For the spells we run in the deck, we're not running too many spells, but for what we're running, the 3 copies of Themis' Decree. Destroy each follower on the field for just a cost of 5. Very useful because it destroys the followers, so it won't be able to destroy your amulets, obviously, with this card. And also the 3 copies of Acolyte's Light to finish off the main deck as well. With the lower number of spells that we're running in total, just selecting enemy follower on the field, banish it, and give your leader +2, restoring 2 life thanks to it. For the Evolve deck, we're running the 3 copies of Jeanne d'Arc. On Evolve, deal 2 damage to each enemy follower on the field, and give each other follower on your field +2. So very useful just to build up defenses for your own followers, and having a pretty good high attack and defense as well for an Evolved unit to begin with. Also, the 3 copies of Priest of Kujal. On Evolve, select an enemy follower with 3 defense or less and banish it. So just more of an option to get rid of cards on your opponent's field as well. With the last of the evolved followers being 3 copies of Prism Priestess. On Evolve, you search your deck for an amulet, reveal it, and add to your hand. So more search power for the needed cards in the deck. With the last of the evolved deck, since you can have up to 10 cards in an evolved deck, being just the 1 Ardent Nun with Ward, and during each opponent's turn, this follower deals 2 more damage. So it gets stronger and stronger the longer it stays on the field as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, it was just a quick look into what we have for Havencraft currently with the advent of Genesis booster set, and I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.